Hi there, students. Okay, I'm going to do some phrasal verbs with settle. The first thing to look at, to settle, means either to go and live in a place, a new place, somewhere different. So, for example, the Europeans went to America and then they settled in America. They settled America. Okay, so to go and live in a place, to establish a colony or a house, yeah, in another place, in a new place. Also, to settle can mean to fall to the bottom, to fall into place. So if you dig a hole and dig the earth out of the hole, you have a big pile, but over time this earth settles. If you have water that's cloudy, very often the cloudiness will settle to the bottom. Okay, but you can also use this metaphorically. So as a teacher, the children come into the class and you say, settle down, settle down. So sit down, become relaxed, find your place, put your things in the right place. So that really brings us to the first phrasal verb, to settle down. Okay, so the family moved to the United States and settled down in Iowa, for example. Okay, or you say to a group of people who have just come into a room and the teacher comes in, settle down, yeah, be more quiet, sit down, be relaxed. Okay, and that's the idea of to settle down. Notice this is intransitive. It's probably neutral language as well. Okay, and as I said, intransitive, a person or a group of people settle down. Okay, they can settle down in a place. Okay, to settle for, notice this is very different. To agree to something. Okay, so when you are negotiating with someone, he wants 10, I want to give him 5. Why don't we settle for 7.5? Okay, so it's to agree. If there's a legal case, the lawyers very often settle out of court, and the amount or the agreement that they make is what the aggrieved, the suffering party, settles for. Okay, so would you settle for £1,000? Yeah. Okay, they are making a settlement, if you like. Okay, to settle in. Okay, this is like to settle down, but I think to settle down means to choose the place and go and live in it. Whereas to settle in is to become more comfortable. Okay, so when you become accustomed to something or to living in a place, you settle in. When I arrived in the new house, everything was a total disaster. I didn't know where anything was, and it took me several months to settle in. Yeah, it took him time to settle in his new job. Notice the double in there. Okay, to settle in. Okay, this again is intransitive. A person settles in, or you could use it transitively. To settle in, yeah, in my new house. So no, it's not transitive, it's intransitive. Yeah. Okay, so when you settle in, give me a phone call. When you're comfortable living in that place. Notice again, the teacher could say, settle down, settle in. Yeah, but I think settle in has an idea of a longer period of time. Okay, you could settle on a price. Okay, so you remember, why don't we settle for 7.5? He wants this 10. I want to give him 5. I will settle for 5. Notice, I will settle for this amount. We settled on 7.5. So notice, one person or one group settles for an amount. But to settle on, all groups are in agreement. Yeah? So I'll settle for 7.5. I will accept 7.5. Yeah? But we settled on 7.5. So both parties were in agreement. To settle on means the agreement that you reach after a negotiation. Yeah? And finally, to settle up, to pay what you owe, to make it even again, to settle the differences or the money owed. So my friend paid for everything during the holiday, and he took a note of it. And then finally we settled up. I settled up with him. Okay, so I paid what I owed. Okay, so settle down, go and live in a place, yeah, or to become more relaxed in a place, to find a place and sit down and live in it. To settle for, okay, to accept a price. I will settle for 10. Will you settle for 10? Okay. What I'd really like to eat today is a steak, but I'll settle for a hamburger. Okay, it's not as good as a steak, but I will settle for a hamburger. You could settle in. You become comfortable living in a place. You become accustomed to living in that place. You become used to living in that place. So it may take some time to settle in when you are living in a new place. Okay, you settle on a price. You agree on a price. So when a negotiation is taking place, when an agreement is reached, both parties settle on the agreement. And to settle up, to pay what you owe, yeah, to make things even again. So after lunch, I settled up with the restaurant. Okay, this one's on me. I'll settle up. I will pay. I had a slate as long as your arm at the shop. Okay, I owed them money, an account, and then I settled up. Okay, if you write dunning letters to people, you are asking them to settle up, to dun, D-U-N. Ask people to settle up, to ask for payment. Okay? So let's see. Settle down, settle in are neutral formality. Maybe slightly informal. Settle for, settle on, or settle up. Probably again slightly informal or neutral formality. Okay, and notice as well the verb to settle is a regular verb. Settle, settled, settled. So I hope you'll settle for the information I've given in this video, or maybe if you don't settle for it, you could go and look it up as well in internet. Enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Settle down, settle for, settle in, settle on, and settle up.